you? This is Robert Anton, your singer, songwriter, actor, author, poet. Some of you may see this later on, so we're gonna try to get this set up the right way really quickly. I don't be seeing like people coming in like right away as soon as you do what you got to do. So I be trying to get everything together. I go ahead and start, and then see as people come in. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. Let's see how it looks on the laptop. Oh man, let me tell you, I am burping this. I just had breakfast, right? Or brunch, if you want to call it, because it's what 12 something. What time? I gotta be watching the time because I got 12:30. So 12:30, we plan on staying on in here till about 1 o'clock. So we're gonna do a half an hour here. We can do a half an hour on TikTok. But let me set up because my light dies really quickly. It does not give me a lot of juice, so I have to plug it in because if I'm gonna use it for like an hour or more, I don't want it to die out on me because it will start fading. I won't even notice. Before you know it, it'll be boop, boop, boop. Goodbye, Robert. We don't want to see you anymore. What a gone? What the go on? Let me see. How can I put it? How can I put it in? Where's the hole? Where's the hole? What up? What's going on? Okay, so now we want to check and see. You gotta view my channel. Make sure I'm on the right page. I am, okay. Make sure things look good and sound good. I have better stuff that I can set up for sound. Make sure things look good and sound good. There's always a lag. I have better stuff that I can set up. I really do have better stuff I can set up for sound. But this is what had happened was what had happened was, like, I don't want to be sitting there with the little podcasting thing in front of me and I can't move around. I got to be right up on the microphone and stuff like that because it hasn't brought in any more viewers or anything like that. No one has mentioned how much better the sound is and I'm like, well, then why do I need it? I don't, I go through those extra steps for nothing. Now, if I'm going to be singing something and I want to be singing really close and really small into the microphone and, being kind of sexy, or if I decide to do some ASMR or something where I need to be up on the microphone and be, then I would use it. But like the funny thing is I went through all that to get all this equipment and stuff. I had to get the piece that you have to do for podcasting. Then I had to go back and get the correct connections and blah, 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 blah. So it was a process, as everything is. It was a process, but I did it and now I barely use it. Okay. And I didn't buy a special microphone. I have my condenser mic right there. And so, I was using that microphone. But again, I'm barely using it. So whatever. What the frick ever. What do I have to do? I'm going to do a few things while I'm in here. I'll be chatting. I'm going to play some music in the back from Robert Anton, original music. Who's Robert Anton? I'm Robert Anton, singer, songwriter, actor, author, poet, multidisciplinary artist, storyteller. Yeah, and I try to tell stories in various mediums. As a songwriter, I have like 50 original songs out. Some here on TikTok, some here on YouTube, and others all over the internet, all over your major and minor download services around the world. I have some published short stories that you can check out. And I don't know, I need to put more links to that kind of stuff. I've been planning on opening or starting Substack, but I haven't done it yet. And I have so many sites and stuff right now. And Substack, I'm thinking there's something new that's going to come up in a minute that's going to push Substack to the back. So maybe I'll wait for the next thing. So I just try to jump on it early. I don't know. I just don't know. I be looking at other sites to post videos too that are on the come up. And there's one that's from Palestine or something like that. And I thought about that, but then I looked it up, and now I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is because I done forgot all about it. It's been days and days and days since I looked it up, so I don't know what's going on. But it's always about trying to get into a new market, be on the upward slope of different social media sites, and it's just all so frigging time consuming. But at the moment, I am concentrating on my YouTube and on my TikTok. I do post on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I gotta spit, y'all. So I be out here in these streets, in these internet streets. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I gotta look at the screen over here because I might not be able to see a darn thing. What's going on? And of course, I ain't putting on my glasses like I should be. What the guan? How are you? Happy Valentine's Day, Alva. Alva, where are you in the world? Look, all morning I have not been blowing or blowing my nose or anything or spitting up. And now, as soon as I cut on the darn, maybe I'm allergic to social media. Wouldn't that be something? I've been on 20 something years on social media. If I was allergic to it, that'd be interesting, right? Be like, now why I ain't been feeling well all these years? No. Social media has brought me so much joy and so much, especially this time of year when like people go through those winter blogs and stuff like that. I was having them pretty bad when I started doing social media, and like it literally lifts my spirit. Because, you both posting videos, of course you're getting those dopamine hits for people, watching and liking. And when you starting to go viral, or you think you are, you got 400, 500, 600, 2,000, 5,000 views. And you're like, oh my God. So it just lifts your spirits. But also because I'm constantly thinking about content, or content is constantly coming to my mind. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Then, it's like it's keeping me occupied and interested and engaged in life. And so like it just helps everything for me anyway. And I've been doing it 20 something. Well, I've been on here since 2006. So that's 20 years exactly. But before this, I was on, what is that old site that we used to have? Was the music site? Oh my gosh, I can remember these old sites. Was it Tom? I can remember his name, but I can't remember the name of the site. Can you remember the name of the site I'm talking about? Anyway, we're gonna move on because it's gonna come to my mind about 10 minutes from now. If you're in the chat, go ahead and thumb it up for me. Let other people know that we are here chatting. I plan on being here at least for half an hour. Sometimes I'll stay longer if a bunch of people start dropping into the chat and we start having a good conversation and stuff like that. But what at the moment, what I wanted to talk about was, hold on a minute. So I was just cooking. I just had breakfast, brunch, whatever you want to call it. If I get 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I have food, I call it breakfast, no matter what time it is. But I was like, I know I wanted some eggs. So I made some eggs with vegetables and stuff like that. But then I had like some leftover pasta. So I had some of that. And I had an avocado that looked like it was going bad. So I had some of that. And I had it all with some crackers, just throwing stuff together, and stuff looked like, oh, I need to use this, just throwing it together. I had the avocado left over because a few days ago I made my famous guacamole, and I was going to take some to the party I went to last night, but I was like, you know what, this guacamole too good for me to be sharing it. Ain't nobody asked for it, so let me go by because usually they're like, oh, when you make guacamole, make sure you bring some, blah, 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 the other, and like, especially the host of the party, I might take them a guacamole or whatever. I was like, if I would have thought about it being Valentine's Day, I might have taken, a little container of guacamole. But I had forgot all about it. When you're single, you ain't thinking about that stuff. I am single and free, and me, myself, and I. So I ain't thinking about no Valentine's Day. So I didn't take it. So I made my breakfast and stuff like that. I haven't done the dishes or anything yet. I'm planning on doing that while I'm on my next live because you can stand up, do my dishes, talk, tell stories, maybe do a little singing or whatever. I play my original music in the background here, as you can hear. Let me cut this up a little quick. This is To the Dance Floor, a house music dance tune. I was a club kid from the time I was about 10, 11. My mom took me and my little brother to this little kiddie disco. She was going on a date. So she took us to kiddie disco and dropped us off. And then after they were finished, they came back and picked us up. And I was hooked. Like, you went to the club, it was, they served sodas and juices and stuff like that at the bar. But they had all the dance music, all the latest dance music and stuff like that. The DJ, the lights were a little lighter than they would be in like a grown-up nightclub. But this is a place that they had, it was a regular nightclub. But there was a Sunday afternoon dance, kiddie disco, they called it. And my mom was like, oh, it's one, like literally. And people say, oh, kids used to just go out by themselves and stuff like that. Oh my God, like really? Literally, it was a one bus ride straight down to the place. But it was kind of like, if it was on 72nd Street, we were probably like on 200th Street. So we could take the bus straight down. My mom was like, oh, if y'all want to go, just let me know and you can go whenever you want to go. For a while, we went every week. Because, we were meeting new people, we were into the girls and stuff like that. We were dancing with folks, having a good time. So it was really cute. I was hooked after that. I really went all the time. What's up, Stanking? Ooh, Lord, I can't say that on here. Lord have mercy. Why you name yourself something like that? And I bet it's Stanky too. I bet you telling the truth. I bet you telling the truth too. I know people don't be lying when they make these freaking things like that. So I became a club kid. And then when that closed, it was a while before I started going back. But probably about, I was 15 when I started going to a college campus, and I started going to this little disco at a college campus that was rumored to be a bisexual hangout. So, and it was like a pizza shop in the front. Then you went in the back, and it was a little club where, the college kids hung out and whoever else came. So I ended up getting in quite a few times. Then we got fake IDs. We got fake IDs so we could get in all the time. And then we started going to the gay clubs, partying and having a good time. And again, house music, I just fell in love with house music. I loved house music so much that I moved to Chicago eventually in order to be immersed in the house music scene. And I was. Had a good old time. I started coaching drag queens on performance and performing at the club myself, singing and dancing. And so, yeah, it was really, really a good time. What am I looking for? Real quickly. I'm trying to do stuff that I need to be doing while I'm in here too. You know what I'm saying? So if you have any questions you want to ask me, keep it family friendly if you can. Happy Valentine's Day. I don't be thinking about no Valentine's Day, y'all, because I'm single. But I will wish you all, if you have somebody in your life, a happy Valentine's Day. Hey. Let's go to the dance floor. We are staying here until 1 o'clock, I say. Unless, we get a bunch of folks up in here and we chit-chatting and having a good old time. But I'm going to do half an hour. If I need to be up in here by myself, I can be up here in half an hour because I'll be having stuff to do. So after I cooked my breakfast, right? Or while I was cooking breakfast, I use this Nonstick spray, and I use different ones by different companies and stuff like that. But they never non-stick. Like I used it today. I got look, Kendrick Lamar. I'm gonna keep doing it, right? I got. I'm both of the pans that I used the Nonstick spray on, the egg stuck and the spaghetti stuck. to the bottom. Like, why did I use that? Why am I paying for nonstick spray, you know, from $5 to $10 for a little thing, and it don't work? I think I need to read the directions and make sure I'm using it right or something. But I've been using it for years. And it really does not work to really be nonstick. Now, what I should do, I think, is like to do a comparison test. So cook the exact same thing in two different things, one with nonstick and one without, and see what the difference is. Because maybe it helps it not stick as much or something, but still, I still got stuff at the bottom of my nonstick pan and my nonstick spray that stuck. Like, what the heck? We got a message up for review. I'm single with, hey, Sir Wellington, you better have them, okay? You better have you some hoes. I ain't got no hoes, you know what I'm saying? Another moderator had just handled this. Yeah, so I'm like, there's all kinds of things. So like, when I talk about like, I'm always thinking about what might be good for content and what might not be. I was thinking about that right after I was like, should I make something about these darn nonstick pans? Like maybe a rant about them. But I was thinking if I do it, I can do a rant first, and then I can do a comparison side by side, like cooking things with and without. And then maybe I could do a how-to. If there's a different way that I should be using it, that I'm not using it, and then I learn how to do it correctly, then maybe I could do a how-to also. You know, so you think about these things, because it's all about having different types of content and having things that people are looking for and things that will be helpful to people. You know what I'm saying? You say it does. What happened? It does. Put on a show on the dance floor. This is Robert Anton music playing in the background. I am singer Robert Anton, also songwriter, actor, author, poet, multidisciplinary storyteller. Because just about everything that I have done has to do with storytelling, you know, making stuff up or talking about stuff that, you know, that you've been through, or stories that other people that have related to you, to me, to you. I should be using the third person, right? I should be saying Robert Anton writes stories, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to become famous, right? You're talking the third person all about yourself, you know? See, you bigging yourself up the whole time. Somebody else does that. I don't want to be talking like him though, because he get on my nerves. Yeah. So anyway, so it's always about content, and like I'm constantly trying to learn how to be better at content creation, even though I've been doing it for 20-something years. And there's always new things you can learn. There's always things you don't think about or you lose sight of. And you have to go back around and pick up some of those old things, and also pick up new things that are going on that people are using to be more engaging, to write their stories better, to keep people around longer. Because that's a hard thing, I think, about anything. You have a good idea and you just do it, and then it comes like people come in and they watch for like 5 seconds and then they scroll. And it's like, I got all this good information. And not everybody, but like, if a majority of them are scrolling away, then your analytics look like everybody scrolled, you know? And I know, and I'll use for an example, I did this vlog that I posted everywhere. It's got pretty decent views, not great, but you know, I think 4,000 or 5,000 on TikTok, a few thousand on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. But like in my analytics, it looks like a lot of people scrolled away. But in the meantime, in the comments, people are commenting on things that I said closer to the end of the video, things that they saw closer. So I know a lot of people are at least watching it through quite a bit, but a lot of people are almost seeing the first part and then scrolling away, literally seeing the hook. And it's a pretty good hook, I think, anyway. But seeing the hook and then scrolling away after the hook. And I'm like, why, you know? So I'm trying to figure that out right now for that video. And these people are like, oh, you should try it again. You should try it a different way. Maybe try with a different hook. Maybe do this, maybe do that. And I might do it. I might do it later on today, and then again, I might not, because I have 4 other projects that I'm working on. So, I don't be thinking about necessarily tweaking what I've already done. I be trying to use what I am learning, for the next content and the next content and the next content. Because I have on YouTube, I have on one channel, I have 4 channels on YouTube, okay? I have this channel, which is my main channel, my first channel that I opened, and it's music, comedy, and advice. My main channel. My backup channel is my cover channel, and over there it's R Anton. Let me put it in the chat for y'all. It's R Anton. And on that page, I opened it up to do my cover tunes, because when I became a partner on here, they were saying, they didn't have the little agreement with the different major companies, so you always got copyright for your content, and it could get taken down, right? So my first account on here got closed because of copyright from Prince. And I wasn't even really singing his song. I was demonstrating falsetto, and I probably did the kill you, whatever. Kiss. I did the song Kiss. I did just like the one part, this falsetto. And I got copyright for that. Of course, I'd had a few before then, and that was kind of like the straw. But anyway, so I opened up my cover channel, and on that channel, I do my covers, I do dances, and I do what I call a captured series. And I see performances around the city, buskers and stuff like that, or if I go to shows or something, there are open mics or whatever, and I capture those performances. I post those over there. I have my blog channel, which I do anything that I want to do that I don't want to put on my main pages. And I usually don't do any singing over there. No dancing, no singing over there, no music over there. Usually vlogs, crazy, silly stuff that I'm doing. Talking about things, rants. When I'm answering somebody's, query about something, and I'm giving my own backup stuff. And that's Robert Anton Vlogs. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for the rainbows. We love the rainbows. Hey, what's going on? Look, I'm talking, so I want to make sure I'm saying hi to anyone coming in. Hi, Poetin. Is it Poetin? 69. Oh, you so nasty. Good for you, my friend. Come on out in sunshine. You see my shirt? This is a limited edition Disney shirt. I love this piece right here. I try not to wear it that much, but I started wearing it for blogs and stuff like that, just because I like it, and because it's easy breezy. You just throw it on and you got something on, instead of not having on showing your stuff. A lot of people be on there, they just showing all their little, but I ain't trying to do all that, And I know that it probably gets people to stop through quicker because they see somebody don't have no clothes or whatever. But I'm so tired of social media and the catfishing and the gay fishing and it just gets on my nerves. But I'm a creative person, so I like to do things a little differently. But sometimes you gotta go on in there and do things that are a little racy or whatever. And don't trust me, I ain't no prude. I can get into the debating, all that good stuff. It sounded like debating. Get into the baiting. But yeah. So anyway, and my last channel, my 4th channel here on YouTube is a political channel. I'm probably not going to share that with you. If you find it, you find it. I rarely post on there. But for a while, I was researching a lot of politics in the U.S. And I was, during the Obama administration, I was talking about some of the bills that he had put forth and some of the things that they passed and what they do for Americans. And so that stuff is still up there. Now and then I'll post some memes or something like that are political memes, or I'll go into a rant about something political. I'll post that stuff over there to keep it separate from my other content. Even though I just had a video get 100,000 something views over here, and it was political. I put it over there also, but I put it over here first. because it was just a lip sync and it was funny, kind of comical, you know, and it's like a reporter talking about something. And so whatever. So I did a little lip sync. Let me tell you, that video, I must have did that video a dozen times or more before I got it to where I wanted it, where I thought the lip sync was really good, that the expressions were good, you know, that I was, you know, really representing the content that I was lip syncing to. And it got really great views. So we put in that hard work a lot of times. I ain't gonna say a lot of times. Sometimes it pays off. Because, you know, sometimes you work on videos. Sometimes Robert Anton, look at the third person. Sometimes Robert Anton works on a video for 30, 40, 50 minutes, and then it gets 400 views. And like, I don't be mad or anything like that, but I'm like, man, it deserves so much more than that. But it is what it is. Normally over here on YouTube, I do tend to get, you know, anywhere from like 500 to 5,000 views. Most stuff gets between 1 and 2,000 views on YouTube Shorts, which is okay. You know, it's not great, but it's okay. It's starting to get a little chilly. I got that radiator heat, so like when it gets really, really hot, you have to pull up the windows and stuff like that. And then, you know, and when it dies down, you got to kind of time it just right so it doesn't get too cold before you put the windows back down. And like the obvious thing to do would be able to turn the thing on and off, but like through decades of them painting over it, you can't even turn it on and off. I have tried to like get something and chip away at the paint and stuff like that so I can control it. Don't work. It don't work. It won't work. What I should do is pour a bunch of lube down the little hole if I can find it, and see. Could you imagine some of that powerful lube, to get some of that lube that they use for FF? What is it? It's J lube, I think. Anyway, you ain't supposed to know those things, Robert. Why not? I'm grown. I know that kind of stuff because I'm grown. Let me see what time it is, because I said I was going to be here till 2 o'clock. Till 1 o'clock. I did not say 2 o'clock. I said 1 o'clock. So we got about 4 more minutes. 4 minutes, Dougie Fresh, and you're out, because I am going over to TikTok to go live for a little while. And if you'd like to follow me over there, if you're on TikTok, it's the same as my cover channel. It's Anton, ITSRANTON. If you want to follow me over there, I'll be going live for a little while. Usually over there, I do sing a little bit. I sing over there more than I do over here. And it's partially because after you turn off the live over there, it's no longer live. You can't access it after that. I mean, I can access it, but like the public can't access it. So a lot of times I will download it and, you know, clip farm and put up some clips from the live. But on here, it stays live unless I delete it or make it private, so people can see it afterwards. So sometimes it gets copyright from the singing, you know, other people's stuff and stuff like that, which I don't mind so much. But if I can avoid it, I avoid it. You know, somebody else making money off my content when I'm not making money off of it. You know, I'm not making any money. My partnership expired or whatever because I didn't have 4,000 watch hours. And I literally had, on this channel, I had 3,800, I'll never forget it because they got my goat, baby. They got on my nerves. I had 3,800 watch hours. You had to have 4,000 in order to keep your partnership, to keep your monetization. 200 watch hours short. And like, I was not happy. And part of the reason is because I do have 4 channels. So I'm putting different content in, you know, different places, which is their fault. Because I know if I had been putting all my content on that one page, that I would have had more than enough, you know, watched hours. But whatever. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens to you that matters. So, you know, I'm just working now and I wasn't worried about it for quite a long time. You know, I'm a singer. You know, my day job, I sing at weddings and corporate events and society parties and stuff like that. So like, I'm not hurting. But I see all of these people doing content on the internet making money. And I'm talking about making mad, crazy money. And I'm like, I want some of that. You know, I made a few $1,000 while I was monetized here on YouTube. And like, that was good money. And most of it, probably more than half of it, I put right back into my videos. You know, I got a DSLR camera, I got a condenser microphone, I got soft boxes, I got the green screen, I got all kinds of stuff to make my content better. And that's my main focus, because I figured, you know, if I'm making better content, I'll get more views. As I'm getting more views, then I'll make more money, and I'll put some more into it. Maybe I'll get better. You know, I got editing software. You know, so I did what I was supposed to be doing. I was, you know, improving my skills. Even though my editing skills are still booty, y'all. I mean, they just are. I just don't enjoy it. I mean, when I have an idea and I can edit it like to look really, really good, I am very happy. I'm over the moon. But like, I don't look forward to the editing. I would rather just cut, put it together and send it on out there. All that extra going here and zoom, all the sounds, and Robert is just not, I don't know if I'm not built for it or if it just doesn't, I don't know. The way I consider it, you just can't be great at everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm great at getting the ideas, at filming the ideas, you know, at putting them in a, you know, boom, 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 getting them down on camera. But I'm not always so good at editing them together and doing all of that good stuff, you know? So, and that's why you need a team a lot of times. Once you start, you know, getting to where you're actually getting views, you need a team. Then you can hire an editor to do blah, blah, blah. You know, even if you got to be sitting by their side saying, no, I really wanted to do, and I want this. No, that's not, I wanted to, you know, you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to do, you know, so you can do that. You can be very hands-on. And then hopefully after a while, they kind of know your vibe and they're like, oh, maybe he'll like this. And then they can just do it. You can say, okay, I like that, but I'd like to change that, make that a little faster, that, and the other, you know, because I see things. I see dead people. I see things, but I don't always know how to make them happen in the editing software. And this year, I actually plan on getting a new updated software. I think mine's is like 2020 or something like that. And actually taking all the tutorials to learn how to do everything up front. But you know, I haven't yet. But I'm going to. I haven't yet. Because I have a lot of things that I want to do. I mean, I have at least 3 things that for this year, I said I am going to make sure this year that once a month I post a parody. Once a month I post, I already forgot what I said I was going to do. Once a month I'm posting a parody. I got 2 brand new songs that I'm working on. So that's 2 pieces of content. And they're like original songs. And then once a month I was going to do, that's why I have to write stuff down, because I done forgot what the other thing was. And that's literally like 22 pieces of content for this year. But I forget what the other thing was. But it will come to me, and you know what, it's probably in my phone. I probably put it in my phone. Because I put a lot of stuff in my notes in my phone, and then I'll put it onto my iPad. Into my notes. Because when I come back across it, I have to be reminded of what I said I was going to do. Let me see if it's in my iPad, in my notes. No, so it's probably in my phone notes. I hope. And if not, when I check, if not, you know, when I think about it, I will write it down. But there was something else, because I was going to do something else at least once a month. A skit. Right, I was going to do a skit, at least two-person skit once a month. Because I have several characters and stuff like that, and I have several skits that I like and that I want to do. And one is Mamie and Pops. And Mamie and Pops are basically my grandparents, but not, but it's based around amalgamation of my grandmothers and my grandfather. And so Mamie and Pops is a skit that I did a dozen or so videos. And one of them for Valentine's Day, actually, and he's doing a striptease for her, and she's throwing money. She's making it rain, and then young me walks in on them and like turns around and goes back out the door. So I love that. I love that skit. That skit, I think it's so funny. But then there's also the Lovers, and they're both me, of course. But one's a little more masculine, one's a little more feminine, and they interact and talk about things and all this good stuff. And so I did quite a few of those. I came up with an idea to do twins. And of course I would play twins. And this, listen, you gotta get ideas from movies and stuff too. Cause I'm thinking about Sinners, the movie where he played the twins. And I was like, oh, what if, I played twins and one was straight, one was gay. And they pretty much work together. They're like, in music, of course, and then I could talk about all kinds of musical stuff and maybe use some of the examples from my So You Want to Be a Singer series, for content, So it's always so many ideas, and sometimes not the time, and not the immediacy to work on them consistently. And I need to get more into that in 2026. So those are my things to do for 2026. My minimum things to do. And that's what I'm talking about, minimum. So minimum once a month a parody, minimum once a month a skit, minimum doing 2 original songs that I'm already working on. Both of them are pretty much written, and like the melody and the lyrics are pretty much written. Now what I need to do, one, I already figured out all the chords for it. And I did play a little bit of one of the choruses on my last live. If you want to check that out, it's near the end. And it's an immigration song. One's a love song, kind of a beggy old school, Al Green, Sam Cooke love song. And so like the immigration song, I actually worked out the chords, the basic chord work underneath, so that I can play it. But I need to go either have a producer work with me on it, or I need to go pay somebody. I want to collab with somebody, and like if there are any proceeds, we split the proceeds. So one person already told me, oh, that's too much work just for, blah, 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 and the other. And I was like, okay. And she's like, why don't you use Suno? And I'm like, I don't want to use Suno. Because the problem with Suno is they give you the underscore, all the music and stuff like that, but they can use that music for anybody else's content also. So, you don't have any run of them. You, of course, can use it, especially if you're paying. You can use it all over the place, but but anybody else can use it. So you could have a song blow up, and let's say it gets 1 million, 2 million views, and somebody wants to purchase it, like a, licensing agreement for commercial, for film, for, TV. That same music can be used for something else, which will undercut your being able to license that song. So I always think the macro. You want to handle the micro, but you want to think the macro too, because anything could blow up at any time on the internet. And if you don't have control of your own creative content, then you could face trouble, because that when that kismet hits you, and you're set to make all this money, and then all of a sudden, oh no, because that you can't license that music, that's a problem, and that's stopping your bag. So I would rather do it on my own, either with a collaboration, or if absolutely necessary, go into the studio and have someone lay down all the tracks and everything like that. I'd rather do it that way. And that way, I'll own everything, because you got to pay cash out. But I did that for all of my music. I have so much music all over the internet, and I paid for everything out of pocket. Some of the stuff that's here on YouTube that's not on my projects are collaborations with other YouTubers, other DJs, producers, and stuff like that. But most of the stuff on my projects that are up on all over the internet that are distributed through CD Baby, I paid cash for, I wrote the checks. You know what I'm saying? Over a period of 5 years, I wrote the checks. And I don't think I made that money back. I made some of it back, a few thousands back. Because one of the songs, and this is, again, about being prepared. One of the songs got placed in a television show in Brazil. And it's like, the production values on the song, it was from my very first project. The production values are not great, but it still got placed, and I've gotten a few checks behind that, So yeah, and it actually is probably the song that I've made the most money out of all of my produced songs. Another song was placed in a movie, but that was I think it was a competition of something like that, and yeah, and so it was placed in the movie. But it's exciting though. Like they basically just sent me a DVD of the movie and stuff like that. And but it's exciting because as the movie opens, they're riding in the car, and my song is on the radio. But then later on in the movie, somebody is rollerblading through the woods, and they've got on headphones, and my song is in the headphones. That's kind of exciting. Oh, what I should try to do, I don't know if I can do it. Either I should try to find it on the net, or I should try to convert it somehow and put those two scenes up on TikTok and whatever social media. That's a thought. Okay, this is Robert Anton, your singer-songwriter, actor, author, poet, signing out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the likes. I will see you again. I might come back tomorrow. If I do, it'll probably around noon, 1 o'clock. Peace, I'm out. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Now, how do you cut this thing off? Where are you, my love? We still got somebody hanging out. Hey, hanging in there, bro.